Welcome, everybody. It's another great day today here, August 2nd, 2016. I'm your host, Matthew Kabalowski, here live from Peoria, Illinois again. I got two great people, we'll put it that way, with me. I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll just go right into it. Kyle, why don't you just introduce yourself and let the fans know who you are again before we get rolling, get the ball rolling again today.
Yeah, I'm Kyle, for all of you that don't know, watch this show. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this weekend. Got the first game, Hall of Fame game, Colts, Packers. Are we going to break Aaron Rodgers' leg first preseason game? I don't know. I'm not going to say that, but we might. I don't know.
Thank you, Kyle. And Andrew?
You know who I am.
We do, and we appreciate you both coming on to our program again, and all the fans appreciate it. I've had multiple emails and multiple tweets at me all week of different people, just congratulating on how well our work has been doing these last couple weeks in the off season when nothing really as much is happening. But jumping right into it, one of those people, Andrew, you and I actually just had a conversation with him the other day about potentially somebody maybe moving somebody out of our league and bringing somebody else in. Would you like to elaborate on that for us, the person that we were talking to the other day?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's sort of a polarizing figure. Bob Norrell, his name's been thrown around a lot. I mean, me and you are sort of the heartbeat and the pulse of this league. So we're in constant communication, always trying to make the league better. And we reached out to him. He showed a lot of interest, a lot of enthusiasm about joining the league. And the natural fit would have him join us and transition away from Jonah, leave him in the dust. I don't think he'd even notice, which would be perfect, a smooth transition. But yeah, I see a lot of positives with adding him. I mean, he's an immediate spark plug. People hate him. People tolerate him. Some people like him. But that kind of polarizing figure gets page views and sells. So people don't watch First Take, or I guess not anymore. They didn't watch First Take to enjoy Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. They're polarizing figures, and he's one of them. Number two, it creates a natural rivalry sort of with Robert now and Bob being two new players in the league. Who's going to be like the best new player as Kib watches the Tigers game? So who's going to be the best of the two new guys could be fun, could be something to keep an eye on throughout the season, and it seems like a better fit to help our league take the next step.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. It's a great opening case. Kyle, would you like to comment on his case of potentially having Bobby Norrell join our league?
Yeah, Andrew, was he in the league that you were in with Robert? Was that last year or 2 years ago?
No, he wasn't. He was in a league with Kib once.
Yeah, I've never played fantasy football with him. I assume he'll do his due diligence. But I mean, really doing anything is more than probably Jonah did. I mean, there were some money trades sent his way that he just flat out either didn't do anything about, rejected it, and finally did get around to it. So eventually, I had to text him 10, 15 times about trades or whatever, and nothing would ever come about. So that's not the kind of thing you want in the league. You want the dynamic. Yeah, Spark Club could be exactly what we need.
Yeah, I agree with both points. Yes, I did text him multiple times with no response back. It got kind of ridiculous once 10 texts to him that never got replied back. But yeah, I played in a league with Bob before. He was a decent member. No titles, so we have no playoff contender coming out that way. So I guess that's a positive for the rest of us in the league. He is one, he's going to grind week by week, looking at the waivers, potentially trade. I like that. He's got value in that he's going to be, on top of his game at all times, which is good for the league and it's good for, the competition involved. And like Andrew, I like that potential rivalry, the newcomer rivalry. Who's the best newcomer in the league? That's not the tier of rivalry that Kyle and Hutch are in, but it could be, it could brew into something that we never know. But yeah, depending on what the other league, what other league the owners say, we'll have to get in contact with them. But I wouldn't mind, depending on like what you guys want. I mean, it seems like you guys are kind of for it right now, but we could just send out the talks to later owners and see what they want. But yeah, that was kind of all we had about Bob potentially joining the league. The next topic was
Commissioner.
Kind of hopefully solidifying that here soon. We didn't.
We gotta lock it in. We gotta lock it in. People know where I stand. I want Kyle to be running this league, and I feel comfortable with that. So I don't really have much more to say about that. I feel like we've laid out our cases for who should be what. Kib, you seems like sort of a Donald Trump flipping your stance on who should be commissioner every time I talk to you. So I'd be interested to hear what you have to say about the commissioner position being open.
Yeah, like I said last time, was just I just want them to do the good job. I want them to make sure that there's no collusion going on. There's no conspiring to, have people veto a trade because they don't like it. I just want the commissioner to do his job the way it's set in stone for him to do it. Kyle would be he's got a great example of him doing a great job in the past. He's got a solid story, solid background to do it. But I mean, I think my vote would go towards the majority. So I think I'd be one of the last people to vote, and whoever the majority is at that point, I would vote. So that's
what's wrong with you.
I'm not surprised by all that you just said. That.
I'm not really. I don't. The surprising thing about every time you talk is that I'm not surprised anymore about the shit that comes out of your mouth. It's like I've just grown to expect it, which is surprising. It's the new surprise is that I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, I'm here for entertainment and to win titles. That's why I joined this league, and that's why I want a commissioner that's going to help me potentially win titles. And, we'll see where that goes in the future. So that was kind of all. We just need to solidify it, later on.
Kyle talk?
Huh?
You're gonna let Kyle talk? I mean, he is the front runner right now.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I guess you have a vote towards you right now, Kyle. Maybe I think Michael Henry. I think he casted a vote for you as well. So you have actually 2 votes already set in stone going towards you. So it's positive on your end. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as always, I'd like to thank everyone for their support. It means a lot. But Kib, you talked about a commissioner that keeps the collusion out of the league. What's the one thing I hate more than anything? That's collusion.
That's correct.
It will not be
collusion.
I won't stand for it. I won't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, and I'm giving the commissioner the power to veto trades that are collusion type deals. That makes sense, and I think if I recall, you did that one time, and everybody agreed that you did it. That was the right thing to do, and we appreciated that you did that. But yeah, thanks, Kyle and Andrew. We appreciate that about the commissioner side of it. Next topic we had in store for our viewers today was just the upcoming season, the pre-draft thoughts, what we are thinking of drafting, and who we're thinking of is going to be keys to our team, and things like that. I guess Kyle, let's start with you. What are your initial thoughts pre-draft? We're probably about 3-4 weeks out before we're thinking about drafting here. So, any 3-4 week thoughts out that you want to tell the fans?
Yeah, I mean, we got the first game coming this week. A lot to look for. Been looking at some mock drafts recently, and I'm seeing, I'm a guy that likes to go running back first. I like to solidify that running back spot. Those wide receivers, they can come and they go, but I'm telling you, a lot of those picks in the middle of that first round, a lot of good receivers up there. The running backs, I'm not too sure about. So I don't know if I change my strategy up this year, or I guess I'll have to make a decision on the fly when I see what pick I get. So I don't know.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm looking at a lot of players like Danny Woodhead and Griff Whalen, Austin Collie. Not really sure where he's at these days, but he's always a safe pick. You got your Gronks, you got your mainstream guys like that. Interesting to see where the verdict lies. I hear Aaron Hernandez is appealing his life sentence in prison for murder. He's a sleeper that I got definitely going to have in my back pocket. But I was trying to think of more gritty players, the gritty ones like Danny Woodhead and who's that guy? Amendola. Amendola, real gritty player. Pat McAfee, who knows where he's going to be this year? Will he just be punting footballs? I don't know. He's proven to be very, very useful in a lot of aspects in life. He's a comedian now. He may turn us around and say, hey, I'm going to try out this slot receiver thing. I think he'd be a gritty fit. Might have to pick him up late. Another potential sleeper there. Trying to think anybody else. No, that's about it. Those are the guys on my radar.
Yeah, I mean, and if those are guys on your radar, Andrew, you probably could pick those guys up whenever you want in the draft. Those are, like you said, gritty type players that are going to be available at all times. But I saw a stat the other day that the first 4 picks in your draft, they account for 47% of all the points that accumulate throughout the season. So
I've never been more confident in a statement than saying that you probably don't understand what those numbers mean because you got a percentage of a percentage, and then I know you're lost. So
yeah, I mean, I never was very good at statistics, but this is just something I read. I mean, maybe I wasn't very good at reading either. So, but that was a stat that I saw that the first 4 picks in the draft are the most critical to your total points throughout the season. So, going off what Kyle kind of said, the receiver, in the standard format league that we have, a 10-team standard, scoring-wise, that it does seem a little like why would you go receiver in the first round? But seeing all these mock drafts that I've been doing, and Kyle said he's been doing, it kind of seems like you should go receiver in the first round, and that seems like a case that I'll have to keep doing mock drafts every week and every day, I guess, to see who the best team is and who I want to be on my team. But I guess those are just some pre-draft things we wanted to touch on before the season. But yeah, actually, one of the owners in our league, Ryan Hutchison, actually just texted me. He said he was watching the videos, watching some of these podcasts later because of work. And he was telling me that a lot of trash has been talked his direction, which I didn't think we even mentioned his name here in the first couple of podcasts that we were doing. But apparently, what was that?
You mentioned Mary Beth's name. That's probably what he's referring to.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I mean, he wants to get on one of these podcasts. I told him, yeah, maybe next week we can get a sit down with him and we can, get him on here for a guest appearance. He said he wants to potentially, say his case of all the trash that's been being said and have his platform to talk. And this is a platform for him to talk, I guess. As an owner, he has a right to potentially be a guest. Just because you're an owner of this league doesn't mean you automatically get an appearance on this podcast. But we'll give you the respect when it's due, and we may need you here on this podcast soon. I guess what are your guys' thoughts on potentially having Ryan Hutchison, one of the owners of our league, to be on this podcast?
Yeah, I don't really care about Hutch. I'd like to go back to me and talk about more of the gritty players that I have. I wrote them down and I just have them here now. I would like to share them. Just the gritty, team first kind of guys. They're really class acts. You don't see them headlines off they work hard. They get the job done. They're gritty. And those people they're Peyton Hillis. We got him. We got Jordan Kuhn, always good, always a gritty guy. Toby Gerhart. Jordy Nelson, got to look out for him. Jason Witten, not sure if he's retired or not, but gritty guy, real gritty. These are gritty characters. And then again, I can't stress enough the Danny Woodhead. I mean, talk about grit and all the way, Danny Woodhead. Again, guys to really look forward to drafting on my end.
Well, I guess like we said, those are players that you need to, I guess, look into more. Some of us haven't even considered those players. I know I haven't considered those players, but that's something that I guess that's good for you because they're not on my radar.
That's good.
I guess not many things are on my radar. So, that's, I guess, to close this podcast, did you guys have any pressing issues?
You never give Kyle a chance. He's the guy again. Talk about commissioner, let's leave Kyle out. Talk about trashing Hutch when Kyle's his biggest rival, and let's just blow past him.
Well, I'm sorry. Okay. Kyle? You're
Andrew,
right.
I just want to say first, all those players you just listed have one thing in common, and that's that they work hard and they always put the team in front of themselves. But as far as Hutch, obviously, he's my rival. Never beaten him. But, yeah, if he wants to come on the show, he can come on the show. I'm pretty sure I haven't trash talked too much about him yet because, well, I haven't actually ever beaten him, so that would kind of blow up in my face. But I think this year's my year. I think I've really been putting in the work. I feel good. Mind, body, soul. They're all connected right now. They're all feeling good. So,
I can't wait, for that pre-week, that pre-podcast week, for that matchup. I'm hoping you both are coming like on a 3-game win coming into it, and I'm hoping for the best. I kind of, I'm not going to side either direction right now because we don't know who's on whose team, and but yeah, I mean, somebody having your number, Kyle, that's never a good thing. Usually you get lost, in the shadows a little bit when you've been losing to a person year after year. But yeah, it's time. If sometimes.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
But sometimes, depending on the week, you can strike a deal to help your team. You never know. So.
What's the shadows? I mean, what the hell? You're lost in the shadows. Next thing you know, you're walking through doors and you're in Narnia and you don't know what happened. What was I talking about again? That's how I feel like your sentences start. You just start a sentence with a random set of words and then try and finish it the best you can.
Well, sometimes when it comes to these podcasts, you got to do that. But I guess.
yeah, but I felt like that was just a subtle way of trying to put in my head that we could trade the week before I play Hutch. I can make a move to help your team. Like, you're already trying to put it in my mind.
Personally, I hope that Hutch and Kyle both come into their week, like week 4, and they're both 0-3, just hemorrhaging losses, and both need it more than life itself. And one of them's just going to be demoralized, and the other will still be demoralized, but have that over the other person for the rest of the year.
Have a win.
If that's the case, though, like, the loser will lose, like, 201 to 2. Like, it'll be absurd scoring. You'll beat anybody else in the league that week, and then you'll lose.
We'll expect nothing less from a Kyle Hutch matchup.
Yep.
All right, yeah. Any other pressing thoughts or comments or issues that you guys have heard since our last podcast that you want to address before we leave our fans?
No, just tell the fans to chime in if they want Bob and chime in who they want as the commissioner. I know we got thousands and millions of subscribers, so they got to let their voice be heard.
All right. Kyle?
With possibly 2 new members, figuring out divisions and who goes into which one, if we put one in each. Now we don't really live there anymore, so those are also up for debate. I mean, if we want to keep it the same or whatnot, but I just think about future podcasts. That's all I got.
Yeah, Kyle brought up a great point. Potentially, we may have to do like an east-west, deal.
Depending on how we make it, though, I could be west or east because, if I'm still here, I'm back in Indiana. Which division do I go to?
Good point. Good point. That's something we'll have to definitely talk about. That's a commissioner, I guess, deal that we'd like to have whoever the commissioner is come onto this podcast and have an open discussion about what he is thinking.
We will have a commissioner by next podcast.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe even a north-south, or east-west. Well, I don't know. We can make up kind of whatever we want. But, yeah, good point, Kyle. So, yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Your viewership was very appreciated. And we'll see you next week, hopefully with a new commish.